Hello, I'm Chetz, the server guy, and today I want to talk about virtual machine managers slash QMU slash KVM and talk a bit about network bridges. Now, when you create a virtual machine, you probably want to connect it to a network. There are few networks, and basically Linux gives you lots of networking, whatever it's VXLAN, bridges, and tons of other stuff. And I'll give a link in the description about a good article from Red Hat, how to do a simple configuration for many network configurations if you want, bonding, teaming, etc. Today I want to talk about bridging and NAT. So this machine right now is Ubuntu 18, which is running as a guest. Right now my host is Fedora 29, which is my main host. Now let's look at Virtual Machine Manager. I got a few machines here, and what I want to do is look at the networking. Now, if I'm looking at connection details, I got here a NAT that I've created, and if I look at IPv4, that's the address range that the guest machines, if I'll select this virtual network for the machines, will get. So for example, a machine could get 192.168.100.10, for example. And as you can see, it's going to be connected NAT to my main network connection, my main network interface. That's the name of my network interface. Now, NAT is great if you want to run everything locally on your machine. For example, if you want to learn Kubernetes, you can install Minikube, or if you want to learn OpenShift, you can install Minishift on your local machine, and all the stuff inside will run only on your local machine, and you'll be able to access it only from your local machine. But if you want, for example, to set up a web server, for example, and you want to access this virtual machine from your other machines at your lab, at home, so you'll need something to access it. Now, if we'll look at a virtual machine, for example, let's click this one, let's open it. By default, you can select Mac VTAP, for example, and what it will do, it will create some sort of bridge, but Mac VTAP cannot be accessed from your machine, which means if you have a guest on your machine, you cannot access it from the host using the standard tools. You cannot ping it, you cannot browse it, or anything else. You'll need a bridge for that. Or you can do a NAT if you want to only access it locally. But if we want to access it from other machines, we'll need a bridge. So how do we create a bridge? So for this example, I've just created an Ubuntu machine because many people like Ubuntu. So let's look what we need to do in order to create a bridge. First, let's open a terminal and see the current status. If we'll type IPAD, it will show us that we have this network interface right here. And this is the IP that the machine gets from my real DHCP, which is outside of my virtual machines. And as you can see, I have the loopback and this network interface. Now we need to create a bridge. What is a bridge? A bridge is like a switch. You basically create a bridge, you connect your network interfaces to the bridge, and when you'll need an IP, the IP will be assigned to the bridge, not to your network interfaces. And that bridge will actually bridge all the network connection between your network interface or network interfaces. You can put few interfaces. It's a bit more complicated. I'll provide a link in the description from Red Hat how to create many things like bridge, VLAN, VXLAN, tunneling, etc. Tons of things. They created a short description for each one of them and how to create it. So let's do it. Let's go to network interface here and look at the wired settings. Now the Ubuntu has, as you can see, a very limited configuration for networking. As you can see, if I click here on add, that's the only thing that it will give me, a profile. Thank you very much, but I want to create a bridge. So what we need to do is basically remove the connection profile. And as you can see, I don't have any network anymore. Let's make sure of that. And as you can see, I have the network interface and the loopback. Now we'll need to connect to create the bridge. We'll use the command nm, which means network manager, connection editor. And as you can see, it's empty because I removed the default Ethernet bridge, Ethernet connection. So let's create one. Let's go select the bridge. It will give this name, and the interface name will be bridge 0. Now I need to attach network interfaces to the bridge. I'll click add Ethernet, and as you can see, I got only one Ethernet device and I'm assigning it. I don't need to change anything else. Click save and let's see what's going on. We have now the bridge interface. Now let's do sudo systemctl restart network. Sorry, network is in Fedora. Okay. Let's look at it again. Okay, it took a few seconds. And as you can see, I have the bridge device and it has an IP. And if we look at my physical device, this is a device and it doesn't have an IP. Now let's test it. And as you can see, I can ping Google. Now, where do I define it in my virtual machine? Let's go back to my virtual machine editor. And let's take this NFS server and click open. After I've created it and I restarted the virtual machine manager, I'll have the bridge here. Now, when I have the bridge, just like this machine, for example, let's take this Ubuntu, which is running right now, and we'll look at it. Yeah, it's basically once you clicked it, it changes the resolution. Sorry. So if we look at it, we'll see where is the network interface. I'll pull it down a bit. As you can see, I have the bridge that I created on my host machine. It's here, and that's the device name. And I'm using the virt.io native network device in the virtual machine, which will give me the maximum speed because other ones, hypervisor, the E1000E, it's emulation. And the virtual is just a pass-through. So now that I have it, for example, I have my machine, the Fedora machine, and its IP right now it's 0.70. So let's go back. Let's try to ping it. I can ping from my guest to the host. And if I'll take this terminal, I'll try to ping from my host to the guest. I can do that. That's the bridge connection. Now, another thing is NAT. Now, I'm not running the virtual machine under Ubuntu, so let's go back and let's edit connection details. In virtual networks, I can create a NAT. And let's create a NAT, for example. Let's call it NAT test. And I'll need to assign a class. 100 is already taken, so I can take 90, for example, and it will create, if we want, a DHCP, which will run in the same local machine, and it will provide NAT services and DHCP services, and the IP range will be from 128 to 254. And if I want an IPv6, and if I want isolated virtual network, or I want to forward it, I can basically forward it if I want. It's really up to you. But if I just want a NAT without any communication or anything else, I can just leave it as it is, as a virtual network, or I can basically forward it to, for example, the bridge right now that I have, or a physical device. And once, by the way, the bridge should be this one, not this one. Once I do this, you'll be able to access from the NAT to the internet if you want to download updates, install packages, etc. Once I did this, I can look at it and I can select it. Now, for example, if that's the big problem with this interface, it doesn't let you edit. Okay, this should work pretty well. So after we'll edit a machine, for example, let's open it. Right now, all the thing that I need to do is just select NAT test, leave the device to virt.io if you install the driver and everything, and leave the link state as active. So this one will give you NAT and will give you your machines in the NAT access to the internet. But still, you won't be able to access those machines from outside. That's it for today. Thank you very much. If you have any comment or anything, leave them below. Hope you like this video. Subscribe, share, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.